All right, guys, this is part two of Derek Jeter. The most underappreciated contribution in sports is availability. Jeter was always available. There's another definition of presence, the impressive manner or appearance of a person. And this was the Jeter too. He never changed. He, to the very end, was focused, determined, ready. If you watched him play in April 1998 or June 2009 or July 2012 or August 2000, you saw the same guy. Of the 2,747 regular season games he played, he got at least one hit in 2,114 of them. He's had multiple hits in more than 1,000 of them. He was always there, always at the top of the lineup, always unmistakable at shortstop, always calmly saying the cliches that filled newspaper stories but didn't rock boats. Was Derek Jeter the best player of his era? No. Was he the most persistent, the most enduring, the easiest to like, the easiest to dislike, the easiest to hype, the easiest to be cynical about? I wouldn't even know who was second on the list. That's why I think Jeter, more than anyone else, is the personification of 3,000 hits. How do you get to Carnegie Hall? Practice, practice, practice. How do you get to 3,000 hits? Line drive after bloop after scorcher down the line. 8 times Derek Jeter got 2,000 hits in a season. No other shortstop has done that more than 4. 12 times he hit 300 or better. That's more often than Clemente or Brett. It wasn't just getting hits. Jeter hit double-digit homers 16 times, most ever for a shortstop. Jeter stole double-digit bases 17 times, most ever for a shortstop. Jeter scored 100 runs 13 times, most ever for a shortstop. But the hits tell the story best. Jeter was unrelenting and undeniable. We can't remember all the hits, but we can remember that there have been more than 3,000 of them. Jeter got his 3,000th hit on July 9, 2011, a warm and sunny day at Yankee Stadium. He came into the game 2 hits shy of the number. He got hit number 2,999 in the first inning, a weak thing, a ground ball off David Price that somehow got through the infield, but when you're counting hits as baseball players do, you don't throw any of them back. Jeter's chase for 3,000 had been substantially different from anyone else's because of the Yankee thing. When Adrian Beltre got his 3,000th hit, it sort of snuck up on America. It mostly happens that way. But not for Jeter. His countdown began way back in 2009 when he skipped a single past first base for hit number 2,722. That moved him past Lou Gehrig and made him the Yankees' all-time hit leader. For a team as storied as the Yankees to not have anyone in the 3,000 hit club, well, it was a rare void for the Pinstripes. And so for 2 years, people anticipated. They prepared. Jeter had his first below-average season in 2010, although he still won a Gold Glove and made the All-Star team, and the mediocrity continued into 2011. But at least there was 3,000 hits on the way. And then it happened. At exactly 2 p.m., with the crowd in high pitch, Price threw a 78-mile-an-hour curveball. Jeter was looking fastball, but the pitch hung over home plate the way the moon hangs over Miami, and Jeter did the last thing even the biggest fans thought possible. He crushed it. It had been 2 months since Jeter had hit homered, and he broke out of the box, running hard because he did not expect it to go over the fence. He did not even trust his power by then. But the ball did go well over the fence, and then madness. The Yankees players rushed out of the dugout. The Rays infielders clapped slightly. A 23-year-old man named Christian Lopez, who was given his ticket by his girlfriend, fell on the ball in the left field bleachers. The sound of the new Yankee Stadium was as loud as it had been in the old stadium when Jeter hit his Mr. November home run in the 2001 World Series. Jeter rounded the bases quickly, and when he touched home plate, he ran into a bear hug from Jorge Posada. He was the 14th man to get 3,000 hits with one team. He was the second to do it with a home run. He was the first to do it as a Yankee. But oddly enough, it is not the home run that sticks with me from that day. It is not number 3,000 at all. No, because the next time up he cracked a double down the left field line. And the time after that he lined a single to right, his favorite kind of hit. And then he stole a base. And his 5th time up he grounded a single up the middle, 5 for 5. And that was Jeter, relentless to the end, still knocking hits when there was nothing left to prove. Jeter wanted to go on. He wanted to play more. For most of the players in the club, 3,000 hits represents the end, the pinnacle. But the year after he got his 3,000th hit, Jeter hit the weight room harder than ever, took on a whole different training regimen, and he had a renaissance season. He led the league with 2,016 hits. He hit 316 for that season. He finished 7th in the MVP voting. He wanted to play forever. Nobody gets to do that, however. Injuries and age and wear and tear got him. Likely they get everyone. And in 2014, at age 40, he was roughly a replacement level player on an aged and tired Yankees team. You don't get to write your own endings. There is something they do at Yankee Stadium. When the game begins, a group of fans in the bleachers will chant the names of the Yankees players in the field until they get acknowledged. Some of the players have rituals. They pound their chests, or they flex, or they wave happily, the way people used to wave to the crowd when they were leaving shore on a giant ship. Jeter had a ritual too, but it was really an anti-ritual. The instant they began to chant his name, before they even got the in Derek Jeter, Jeter would hold out his glove toward the fans. Enough, thank you. He did this without looking, automatically, while never losing focus on the batter. It felt perfect to me. Jeter was saluting the fans without taking his eye off the game. He was saying, I hear you and I love you, but I'm working right now. That's what he was doing all those years, working. A Jeter teammate once said that what made Jeter special was that he wasn't special, which is to say that he was always the same recognizable guy, that he played precisely the same way on a Tuesday in Texas, or a Saturday in Seattle, or a Wednesday at the White Sox, as he did for the 7th game of the World Series. That doesn't seem possible, of course. We all have good days and bad, happy and grumpy moods, lucky and unlucky times in our lives. Life is rarely flat. It almost always feels uphill or downhill. There is no way that Derek Jeter, in America's biggest city and America's most famous team, in a life of tabloid back pages and cheers and boos and supermodels and opposite field singles, really stayed that centered. But if he didn't, it was an amazing act. And he had 3,465 hits and 200 postseason hits to show for it. Those numbers say what he always tried to say. He hears you, he loves you, but he's working right now. All right, that's a good one, Dad. Love you.